Namaste guys. Welcome back to the theory of everything. The world of entertainment. Now let's go into the video. Properties of eye. Agenda. Number 1, what is the eye? Number 2, parts of the eye. Number 3, disorder and diseases. Number 4, interesting facts on eye. Number 5, tips to take care of eye. What is the eye? Eyes are organs of the visual system. They provide animals with vision, the ability to receive and process visual detail, as well as enabling several photoresponse functions that are independent of vision. Eyes detect light and convert it into electrochemical impulses in neurons. Parts of eye. Number 1, cornea. The outer coat of the eye is white. It is tough so that it can protect the interior of the eye from accidents. Its transparent front part is called the cornea. The cornea's main function is to refract, or bend, light. Number 2, iris. Behind the cornea, we find a dark muscular structure called iris. In the iris, there is a small opening called the pupil. The size of the pupil is controlled by the iris. The iris is that part of eye which gives it its distinctive color. When we say that a person has green eyes, we refer actually to the color of the iris. The iris controls the amount of light entering into the eye. Let us see how. Look into your friend's eye. Observe the size of the pupil. Throw light on her eye with a torch. Observe the pupil now. Switch off the torch, and observe her pupil once again. Do you notice any change in the size of the pupil? In which case was the pupil larger? Why do you think it was so? This is because when there is bright light, the iris closes the pupil to let in less light. And when there is low light, the iris opens up the pupil to let in more light. Focuses light rays onto the retina. Number 3, pupil. Number 3, in the iris, there is a small opening called the pupil. The size of the pupil is controlled by the iris. The pupil controls how much light is let into the eye. It is very similar to a camera aperture which allows more light in for more exposure. At night, our pupils dilate to allow more light in to maximize our vision. In the bright sunlight, our pupil shrinks to a very small diameter to allow us to function normally. Number 4, ciliary muscle. The ciliary muscle is a ring of smooth muscle in the eye's middle layer, vascular layer, that controls accommodation for viewing objects at varying distances and regulates the flow of aqueous humor into Schlemm's canal. When the ciliary muscle contracts, all zonular tension is reduced. This permits the central lens surface lens to become rounder, increases its focusing power. When the ciliary muscle relaxes, all zonular tension is increased, causing the lens to flatten, decrease in optical power. Number 5, retina. The retina is a thin layer of tissue that lines the back of the eye on the inside. It is located near the optic nerve. The purpose of the retina is to receive light that the lens has focused, convert the light into neural signals, and send these signals onto the brain for visual recognition. Number 6, lens of eye. Lens, in anatomy, a nearly transparent biconvex structure suspended behind the iris of the eye, the sole function of which is to focus light rays onto the retina. Number 7, optic nerve. The optic nerve is located in the back of the eye. It is also called the second cranial nerve or cranial nerve 2. It is the second of several pairs of cranial nerves. The job of the optic nerve is to transfer visual information from the retina to the vision centers of the brain via electrical impulses. Number 8, sclera. The sclera, also known as the white of the eye or, in older literature, as the tunica albuginea oculi, is the opaque, fibrous, protective, outer layer of the human eye containing mainly collagen and some crucial elastic fiber. It's a tough, protective covering, and the muscles that control eye movement are connected to it. Number 9. Vitreous humor. Vitreous or vitreous humor, the clear jelly that fills the eyeball behind the lens. It helps support the shape of the eye and transmits light to the retina. Number 10. Anterior and damp, posterior chambers. Fluid fills most of the inside of the eye. The chambers in front of the lens, both the anterior and posterior chambers, are filled with a clear, watery fluid called aqueous humor. Light passes through the cornea and the pupil at the front of the eye and is focused by the lens onto the retina at the back of the eye. Number 11. Macula. The macula is part of the retina at the back of the eye. It is only about 5 mm across but is responsible for our central vision, most of our color vision, and the fine detail of what we see. The macula has a very high concentration of photoreceptor cells, the cells that detect light. The macula is the central area of the retina and is of particular interest to retina specialists. Remember that the retina is the light-sensitive tissue which lines the inside of the eye. The macula is the functional center of the retina. It gives us the ability to see 20/20 and provides the best color vision. Number 12. Choroid. The choroid supplies the outer retina with nutrients, and maintains the temperature and volume of the eye. The choroidal circulation, which accounts for 85% of the total blood flow in. Number 13. Eyelid. An eyelid is a thin fold of skin that covers and protects an eye. The main role of the eyelid is to protect the eye. It's vital that the surface of the eye, the cornea, remains constantly moist, so the eyelid is responsible for spreading the tear film evenly across the surface. When we sleep, the eyelids don't simply block out light, they keep the cornea from drying out. Types of cells in eye. There are two main types of light-sensitive cell in the eye. 1. Rod cell. Rods work at very low levels of light. We use these for night vision. This cell is highly sensitive and high level of light. 2. Cone cell. Cone cells, or cones, are one of the two types of photoreceptor cells that are in the retina of the eye which are responsible for color vision as well as eye color sensitivity. They function best in relatively bright light, as opposed to rod cells that work better in dim light. These are sensitive in dim light. Absence of the cones will lead to loss of perception of color. Blind spot. Your retina is made up of light-sensitive cells which send messages to your brain about what you see. Everyone has a spot in their retina where the optic nerve connects. In this area there are no light-sensitive cells, so this part of your retina can't see. We call this the blind spot. Its existence can be demonstrated as follows. Make a round mark and a cross on a sheet of paper with the spot to the right of the cross. The distance between two marks may be 6 to 8 centimeters. Hold the sheet of paper at an arm's length from the eye. Close your left eye. Look continuously at the cross. Move the sheet slowly towards you, keeping your eye on the cross. What do you find? Now close your right eye. Look at the round mark now and repeat the activity. Does the cross disappear? The disappearance of the cross or the round mark shows that there is a point on the retina which cannot send messages to the brain when light falls on it. Birding cage activity. Get a square piece of cardboard of size 6 to 8 centimeters. Make 2 holes as shown. Thread a string through the 2 holes. Draw/paste a cage on one side of the cardboard and a bird on the other side. Twist the string and make the card twirl rapidly. Do you see the bird in the cage? Nearsightedness, also known as short-sightedness and myopia, is an eye disorder where light focuses in front of, instead of on, the retina. This causes distant objects to be blurry while close objects appear normal. Other symptoms may include headaches and eye strain. Short-sightedness can usually be corrected effectively with a number of treatments. The main treatments are corrective lenses, such as glasses or contact lenses to help the eyes focus on distant objects. Hypermetropia. Farsightedness, also known as long-sightedness, hypermetropia, or hyperopia, is a condition of the eye where distant objects are seen clearly but near objects appear blurred. This blurred effect is due to incoming light being focused behind, instead of on, the retina wall due to insufficient accommodation by the lens. Long-sightedness can usually be corrected simply and safely by wearing glasses with lenses that have been prescribed specifically for you. See Diagnosing Long-Sightedness for more information about what your prescription means. Interesting facts on eye. Number 1. Your eyes are about 1 inch across and weigh about 0.25 ounce. Number 2. The human eye can differentiate approximately 10 million different colors. Number 3. Our eyes remain the same size throughout life, whereas our nose and ears never stop growing. Number 4. The human eye blinks an average of 4,200,000 times a year. This means if you were given a nickel for every time you blinked, you would make $210,000 annually. Number 5. Eyes are made up of over 2 million working parts. Number 6. Each individual eye contains 107 million cells and all are light sensitive. Number 7. Your eye is the fastest muscle in your body, hence, the phrase, in the blink of an eye. Number 8. The world's most common eye color is brown. Number 9. The night vision of tigers is 6 times better than that of humans. Number 10. In an average life, your eyes will see 24 million different images. Did you know? Animals have eyes shaped in different ways. The eyes of a crab are quite small, but they enable the crab to look all around. So, the crab can sense even if the enemy approaches from behind. Butterflies have large eyes that seem to be made up of thousands of little eyes. They can see not only in the front and the sides but the back as well. A night bird, owl, can see very well at night but not during the day. On the other hand, daylight birds, kite, eagle, can see well during the day but not in the night. The owl has a large cornea and a large pupil to allow more light in its eye. Also, it has on its retina a large number of rods and only a few cones. The day birds, on the other hand, have more cones and fewer rods. Tips to take care of the eye. It is necessary that you take proper care of your eyes. If there is any problem, you should go to an eye specialist. Have a regular checkup, if advised. Use suitable spectacles. Too little or too much light is bad for the eyes. Insufficient light causes eye strain and headaches. Too much light, like that of the sun, a powerful lamp or a laser torch, can injure the retina. Never rub your eyes. If particles of dust go into your eyes, wash your eyes with clean water. If there is no improvement, go to a doctor. Always read at the normal distance for vision. Do not read by bringing the book too close to your eyes or keeping it too far. Wear eye protection when playing sports. Stick to a healthy diet and exercise routine. Keep screens at a distance. Blink, blink, blink. Eat seafood with omega-3s. The most popular resource for visually challenged persons is Braille. The present system was adopted in 1932. There is Braille code for common languages, mathematics and scientific notation. Many Indian languages can be read using the Braille system. Visually impaired people learn the Braille system by beginning with letters, then special characters and letter combinations. Methods depend upon recognition by touching. Each character has to be memorized. Braille texts can be produced by hand or by machine. Typewriter-like devices and printing machines have now been developed. Louis Braille, himself a visually challenged person, developed a system for visually challenged persons and published it in 1821. Braille system has 63 dot patterns or characters. Each character represents a letter, a combination of letters, a common word or a grammatical sign. Dots are arranged in cells of 2 vertical rows of 3 dots each. Patterns of dots to represent some English letters and some common words. These patterns, when embossed on Braille sheets, help visually challenged persons to recognize words by touching. To make them easier to touch, the dots are raised slightly. Thank you for watching.